Hello everyone, I'm back today with another video, and I have a special treat for us all today. I have been matched in a ranked game with Numbers Dude, as he will be known today. This is someone that I am matched up against a lot, and I have built this setup according to something that I hope can counteract his playstyle. So let's get right into this game. Now, usually this player will open up on their weak side, usually with nothing higher than a kernel. And I say usually, that doesn't always happen. And then usually the other side is the side with, the marshal. General's usually in the middle. And then the flag is usually in the corner, sometimes open, sometimes not. So, this will be a very interesting game. I win a slight majority of games against this player. So I hope that I will be able to replicate that here. That would be really nice. He's 801, 801 and 70% wins. That's a pretty good win ratio there. So yeah. So we discovered Sergeant there, I believe. I was kind of distracted because I'm talking. I should probably pay more attention. I believe that was a Sergeant. So that would seem indicative of a weak side, but usually the side that is not moved on is actually the stronger side, which is quite interesting. So Sergeant here, I'm going to go ahead and I'll scout this piece. And we'll find out what that is. That is a bomb. Okay. So bomb there. Interesting. So we have Sergeant and then bomb. Alright, let's advance on that and see what that is. He will retreat with that, so he is scared of my front row piece. Okay. I think I'm going to move that over, and I'll just leave that there. Now what I could do is I could come up and with this colonel, put it right here, and then hit that sergeant. And figure out, what's behind that sergeant, and then see what we got there. So I think I'll try to do that. Now against this player, giving them a 1 rank lead is okay, but giving them a 2 rank lead can make it very difficult to come back against them. So I'm okay with doing this and getting some info. Okay, well, he's just going to attack it for me. Now that's pretty interesting, because that makes me think that he doesn't have backup on that sergeant. That makes me think that he doesn't have backup on the sergeant, because if he has backup for something, he's almost always just gonna sit it there and just let me attack it, and whatever. I'm gonna move over on that one. I don't know what this piece could be. It could be a marshal, it could be a bluff, it could be I really don't know. Probably more likely than not, it's a colonel. That's probably the most likely piece that it is. So I will threaten it with my colonel. He doesn't know this colonel. Okay, I'll come up with a major then, and we'll go against this captain here. I'll just go in there. Okay, well that is really unfortunate. Yeah, that doesn't. Probably should have thought more about that. I was just hoping he wouldn't do that. I was kind of hoping he would think it was a bluff, because I never tried 2 scores captain. But either way, that's going to be a good read for him, so that does put me in the hole. So yeah, that's not the most desired scenario, obviously. So we'll be down a major early, and we only got a colonel from it. Okay, well that's good. That'll give me up a captain. I will take that. So I'm down major lieutenant, up a captain, and up a sergeant. So that's not quite as bad as it was before. Okay. I think more likely than not, that's probably a bluff. But there's no way that I'm going to give this guy a 2 major lead on me, because that would be very difficult to come back against. Although I still think it's a bluff, but I'm not going to be completely sure about that. He's also revealed a colonel here, and usually his colonels are on the flanks, not towards the center. Usually stuff in the center is going to be his general, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to leave that there. And I'm going to bluff back up there. And if the very, very improbable chance that's not a bluff, in my opinion, I'm almost certain that's a bluff. in that very small chance, then he can take it, and he can risk it if he wants to. Alright, so we know Colonel here, and we know Captain. So, Colonel and Captain, so he's obviously has probably access to both his Marshal and his Spy with this Colonel, most likely. So, I mean, I would be willing to bet that at least one of these is backup, if not both of them, in fact. His General is probably this piece. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think this is a bluff, so I'm going to hit that. Yeah. You know what? This is probably his Marshal, and this is his Spy, and this is his General. That's what I think. You might call me crazy for just, you know, basing that on so little, you know, so little knowledge, really. But that's what I think. So let's come up with this Colonel. And he's going to run away with that. Okay. Well, we know none of these are significant pieces because he wouldn't just let me do that. Okay, I think that's the General. I think that's the General. So I need to run away from that. I think that's the General. I think that's the Spy. That's some unimportant piece. I don't know what this is. I mean, I guess there's a small chance it could be a Colonel or something, but more likely than not, it's just a Major. But I'm not going to take that risk, because again, I cannot go down 2 pieces against this guy. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to leave that there. Now, I was thinking this is a Spy, but him doing that, well, I guess he knows this is a Major, so he's not in danger of it being scouted, so I guess that could still be the Spy. I think this is the General, so what I'd like to do is get a scout to confirm that. So I'm going to see if I can bring this scout out here. What I think is, okay, so more and more he moves this piece, the more I think it's not the Spy. Okay, so I'm going to come up with a scout here. I think that could still be the General. One of these is almost certainly the General, most likely. But I think he's making a path for his Colonel here. That is moved. That's an unimportant piece here. Okay, so he's just going to let me keep that there. So I think this is the General. But then I don't know where the Spy is. So I'd like to scout this piece, maybe get some more info. And it won't let me. Okay. Well, I can scout this. That lets me do that. So I'll confirm that's most likely the General. Most likely. Okay, I'll just scout that. General. Perfect. So maybe this is the Spy, because Spy and the General, he's normally quite predictable with the Spy. I'm going to come over with this Colonel. This is probably, you know, nothing significant. I know that's his Colonel, that's his Captain. This could be the Marshal right here, because he hasn't budged his Colonel from this location. It came from here, because his Colonel was here, or here. I think this is probably the Marshal. I think this is right here. I think that's his Marshal. That's the General. That's his Spy. That's what I think. That's what I think. So, I mean, I could be wrong about that Spy, because I don't know for sure. But I'm going to hit that. Okay, minor. We'll most likely trade. If that's his Marshal there, then that's unbelievably well played from him. So, I highly doubt that. Yeah, it's going to be his Colonel. If that was his Marshal there, then he really deserved the win, because I'm quite sold on it being this piece right here. So we know his second Colonel is here. He doesn't know our second Colonel, which is over here. I'm pretty sure this is his Marshal, that's his General, that's his Spy. That's also moved. That is some insignificant piece. So, yeah. Alright. So that's going to most likely be a Major wanting to trade, and I will let him do that. Okay, that's fine. I mean, he's really trading his unknown Major for my Major. It's true that trading is in his favor, but I will trade my known pieces for his unknown pieces. Because now he has literally 0 info for me, except he knows this Captain. So he has literally 0 info. So I might as well advance on that. Okay, whatever. So I'm up a minor, up a sergeant, up a captain. Okay, that's surely just got to be his spy. I'm gonna retreat with this colonel here. Okay, interesting. So he's going to expose this piece. So what I'd like to do is get a scout and check that. Although that would mean that I've used my last scout, and scouts can be very important against him. So I don't think I should want to use my last scout quite yet. He's going to waste another sergeant, which is good. The more he wastes those, the more he's going to have to chip into these pieces, and he's discovering absolutely, insignificant things with that sergeant. So he'll probably advance on this lieutenant here. He doesn't know that captain, so that's most likely just going to be another major. But we know his general, we know his colonel, most likely the spy. It's very probable to be the spy right here. And that's probably the marshal that he's leaving open to be scouted. He's probably trying to be like, I don't know, like, what am I trying to say? He was trying to be like, yeah, he's going to scout that. That's why I didn't trade that off. What I meant to say about the marshal is kind of reverse psychology. Like, he's leaving it open, making me think it's not a significant piece. But it is, I'm pretty sure. The reason I didn't trade that immediately is I wanted him to waste a scout, and now I will be very glad to trade that off. But we know colonel, spy most likely, we know general, and that's marshal most likely here. I don't think I'm going to waste a scout on that. I think that's insanely probable to be the marshal, to be honest. So, if he advances on that major, I'm obviously going to retreat, and if he advances further, then I would take it. We know this is the colonel. That's a spy. So, general, spy, colonel, marshal. I mean, it's just got to be. This is just going to be a bunch of bombs over here. Which that's interesting, because he didn't advance on this side, and I was right that he didn't have backup for that sergeant, most likely. Okay, so what I want to do is I need to keep my colonel concealed for now. I don't really want him to discover that. He might guess it. He might have guessed it, but he's someone who doesn't play that confidently off of guesses. So, that's most likely a major. So he's trying to get this piece out, though. This piece here. He's going to move that up. He'll move that there, and then he'll move that over and that down. Okay, or not. He's trying to flush this piece out. This is probably just 4 bombs here, to be honest. He likes to do that stuff. He probably has like 4 bombs, and then probably like 2 bombs here, and this is moving stuff, or some assortment of more bombs over here. So this piece is the marshal. Right. That's the piece of the marshal. He just moved that up. That's going to be the marshal. That's very interesting. Okay. And here's the marshal coming back now. Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't think that's the marshal. These two are insignificant pieces, most likely. Again, he's just leaving that marshal open to be scouted. I think he's, trying to play it up like it's nothing important. Now he's going to move it toward the center. Interesting. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to bluff this sergeant as something significant and watch him, like, pull this marshal back towards here, most likely. Alright, let's see what he does if I do that. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right. I called that perfectly. He has to run the marshal back because he's probably got an open flag over here and he's got to defend that. I don't really care if I lose a sergeant or not. That's probably just a scout or a minor or a sergeant or anything. Anyway, maybe lieutenant, which would be unfortunate if he hits. But yeah, that is undoubtedly the marshal. And he'll waste another minor. I kind of didn't think fully about that. Because there might be majors over here. But, yeah, oh well. Didn't really matter much. But he's got a new piece to replace it. Alright, sorry about that. So he has moved his marshal what is almost certainly the marshal, up on this piece. I'm going to retreat, because really I'm so confident that's his marshal that I don't even want to waste any piece on it. I'm just really that confident. I think that's just simply got to be his marshal, really. But he used a minor and then captain. This is how these games go a lot against him. It's going to be a war of attrition. He's going to waste these pieces here to try to... I wish I'd kind of come up with my spy, because I would have blind hit that. I would have blind hit that in an instant. But, you know, spy's not really in position at the moment, so that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to move up on that. I don't think he's going to hit it, especially if he has, say, a major or something like that there. Because we know that's the colonel, general, spy, so that can only be, say, a major or maybe a captain. It could also be like a lieutenant, maybe being guarded by a minor or scout. That would be unfortunate. Major, so he's going to just take that. Okay. I think that's respectable. He thought it was a bluff and he went for it. That doesn't change my opinion on this piece here, which I am almost certain is going to be his marshal. Now, this is a known lieutenant, so let's see if he remembers this. Let's test his memory. I don't think he will, because I've been shuffling around so much. But yeah, he's most likely got 4 bombs here. Marshal's coming over here. That's major, colonel, general. So we've got them all in a row there. I think I'm going to risk coming out with the spy. I think maybe I can get him to move next to it with his marshal. I just hope he doesn't scout it, because that would be really sad. Here's the marshal. Okay, so he's just going to put that right there. I'm just going to leave that there. I'll just leave that there. This major he doesn't know. I don't think this captain has even moved. He knows this captain, and he knows this captain, and he knows that lieutenant, but I wouldn't doubt if he's forgotten both of these here. That colonel's moved, but he never discovered it. I'm almost sure that this is a marshal. Let's do that and see what he does. I'll do that. I don't know, I might be making it a little bit obvious that this is my spy. I'm probably going to want to run away with it or something. Major, marshal, most likely marshal. I'm pretty sure of that. And then probably a scout or something here. I think that's going to be... Maybe, I mean, it might not be a scout. It might be like a scouting piece, like a minor, or maybe the last sergeant. Could be a lieutenant. I don't think he'd guard a major with a lieutenant, though, considering I can come after him with my majors. And that would take away his lieutenant lead, which he probably needs in this game. He's going to need that lieutenant up to combat my 3-piece advantage here. If he's not up that, then I just have 4 pieces to his 1. So, marshal, major. This piece here, probably a scout or sergeant or I don't know what. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what to do here. This is most likely like 4 bombs here, right? That's going to be something behind it that can, you know, take it out. That's the marshal, that's a major. I'm not really sure exactly what to do at the moment. So I'm going to probably just keep kind of shuffling around so I can figure out what I can do. Because this marshal has got to stay over here to defend, you know, defend the flag over here. So marshal, insignificant piece, major. Now he's coming out with this piece here. Okay, here's what I think might be advantageous to do. It's quite risky, but I think it might be advantageous. Take my Marshall and park it next to this piece. He might hit the Marshall, or he might hit it with his general, or move next to it with his general, because I'm threatening a worthless piece with it. By the way, we still got Marshall, Major here, Colonel. Alright, I'm just going to pull that on the side and just keep that there, because that most likely increases his thinking that it's not definitely not the Marshall, but not really a good piece. But we've got Marshall, Major, Colonel, come over here now, and we have the General. Now that's the Major moving back. I think I'm going to try to... I'm not sure what I want to bluff this Lieutenant as. Alright, so I'm going to enact my plan here. Major. Alright, I'm just going to keep that there. This is a waiting game. Unfortunately, he might take it, but he might not, so we'll have to see. Worst case scenario, he takes, and then I'm going to need to rush up with my General and Colonel and defend everything, and we get locked in endgame here. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see, really. But I believe his Major went here. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm pretty sure that's his Major now. And I really don't know what to do, to be honest. So I will move back on that. I know that's some worthless piece, so I'd like him to follow me. I'm going to come up with this Scout. That's the Major. Not much is happening. I could really request a draw, and he'd most likely accept, but I kind of don't want to draw. I want to win, as most people do. Okay, this is good. Perfect. There's a General. Awesome. I was just waiting for that. I told you, sometimes he'll do that. And now he's totally screwed, to be honest. I was waiting for that the whole time. I was just hoping he would. If he took it, then we're going to a complicated endgame. But if he didn't, then, yeah, we're doing good stuff here. So now I'm up a General, and my chances to win just increased quite hugely. Marshall, Major here. If I read him perfectly, and I will risk the spy on that piece. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, I can just come through with a miner and threaten that spy, you know. So let's try to do that. Okay, well, he's just gonna waste it on that, whatever. So let's move over, and he's gonna lose the spy, or he's gonna trade with me. Because he can't save the spy anyway here. Because if he moves over, then I just move down. So wasting that miner was not a good decision by him, because he needs that there's a buffer. And he needs to defend me when I bring up a miner here, and I try to swoop in. He needs to bring his colonel over. But really just a domino effect. That general being gone, I can just smash through. And we'll trade that off. Easy enough. He's probably raging at me right now. But you know, I'm not gonna check. So we got spy here, colonel, and major. So let's see if I can bluff this colonel as my. Okay, I'm not gonna. That's fine. He doesn't. He has probably no even like guessing. No guess at all for what my general is. I'll take that, and then I'm gonna run back with that scout. I'm not gonna waste that scout. No, thank you. I'm gonna do this. Bluff that. Okay, nope. Well, I mean, that's his major. So let's come up here, and we'll just trade stuff off. To be honest, I'm okay with that. The reason I didn't come up with my general, and instead I just want to trade. If I trade everything off, the thing is, if I come up with my general and I put it here, I have no defense over here. He can really just lotto me. That's a really risky play. Now he's going to think this is my general. But alright, let's see if I can funnel him over here towards my my pieces. Okay. I'll do that. And he won't take it. Perfect. Excellent. Because I knew that he thought that was my... I knew that he thought that was my general from the moment he did that. Because he was debating, which is the major, which is the general. He didn't consider that one was a bluff. So what I wanted to do is just trade, have him think this was the general. But I did that because I knew he wouldn't take both of them. And that's just the perfect result. So he's definitely lost. He'll probably lotto that bomb. There we go. That's going to be game. So that's going to be a win for me. And I'm very happy with that win. I was able to bluff him quite successfully. I was also able to read him completely flawlessly. So I'm really happy with that win. So GG, back to 781, which is where I started. And that is going to be a very, very good, convincing win. So I'm very happy with that.